Department, Mr. Manish Chaturvedi, sir. So Mr. Abhinav is alumni of 2005 batch of computer science, and he's director of Xoriant. Today, Mr. Apnav is going to have an expert lecture on AI/ML and data management. And now, I would like to hand over to Mr. Apnav.
Thank you, Lokesh. You can see the screen or no?
Yes, the screen is visible. Slides are visible.
Okay. So hello everyone. So today, as Lokesh mentioned, and you all are aware, right? Artificial intelligence and machine learning. So we will go through some of the practices around artificial intelligence and machine learning, and what are other technologies over there. And being part of data management for last 15-16 years, how we are implementing artificial intelligence and machine learning into our data management programs, like real business use case, and how we are using it, that will actually give you some insight into in real world application of these technologies. So first, before I start, right, I will set some rules actually for the interaction, right? Don't call me sir. Sir is for the government officials and your professors, not me. When you go and step into your professional lives, don't call anyone from sir. Okay, that's I'm sure no one will teach you in the college, but you should learn that way from your seniors, right? Don't call anyone sir. It's not right approach, because in professional world, like even I am calling my CEO with his name. I am calling my boss with his name. So there is no sir or boss kind of thing. Okay. So let's start. Okay.
No,
so
let me interrupt.
Sure, sir. I can call you sir because you are professor.
Hi,
Our professor.
You can call. Hi, Apnav, how are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
So, just I would like to tell the audience here that Apnav is 2005 pass out from our college, and Apnav, please share with the audience your experience in college. What were those days? Your campus interview interactions at that time, what you learn from your friends, success or failure during campus interview, or success or failure during their academic curriculum, what they should do at this point of time, which move them forward. Things like this, which they can implement immediately. No doubt, they should do after they get to the job is also useful to them. But what they should do within these 4 years, nobody can tell them better than one of their senior, and that you at this point of time. And I remember 2005, if you remember Apnav very well, was the year when this placement scenario suddenly picked up. You remember Apnav at that time?
Yes, absolutely. And I was about to say, like, we were lucky enough batch, right, to have big companies in the campus, thanks to placement team at that point in time. And it was, for everyone, it was first year, right? And when we spoke to our seniors who passed out in 2004, 2003, they were like, hey, you are lucky because we never saw how campus interviews are, and we never got chance to get into the campus interviews. So we were the first batch.
Let me share if I have the correct data up now. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
At 2004 batch, the number of placements were around 20 for combined all branches. And 2005 it was around 135 to 150. And those 20 placements in 2004 were mainly in cement manufacturing and local industries of Kota and things like that. So there was no placement I can say for computer electronics up to 2004 batch. For 2005 suddenly there was placements starting, if I am correct, from IBM and then Cognizant and whatnot. Everybody in the college was shocked, like engineering college Kota se bhi placement ho sakta hai kya? यहाँ पे भी नहीं आ सकती हैं क्या?
Exactly. I remember
मैं बताऊँ, मैं अपना एक्सपीरियंस बताऊँ. उस वक्त कॉलेज में एक भी एयर कंडीशन रूम नहीं था जहाँ पे हम इंटरव्यू देने वाली कंपनी जो आ रही हैं उनको बिठा के इंटरव्यू मतलब उनका करें, क्योंकि ऐसा कोई कॉन्सेप्ट ही नहीं था कि कोई एक इंटरव्यू रूम होना चाहिए जिसमें एक एसी फिटेड होना चाहिए. तो मैं और धनंजय गुप्ता सर, हम एक रात पहले हम मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर की जो कंप्यूटर लैब है उसमें गए और उसका एसी खोल के और उसको जैसे तैसे हमने यहाँ लाके फिट किया. पीटीपी में जो उस वक्त करता था ट्रेनिंग एंड प्लेसमेंट ऑफिस, और उसके रूम में कैसे भी करके तार लेकर के रात में 9-10 बजे तक तो हम इसमें लगे रहे थे कि सुबह इंटरव्यू लेने आएगा उसको ठंडी हवा तो मिले. तो those were the days. और आप का बैग हमेशा याद रहता है. प्लीज कंटिन्यू अपना.
Sure, thank you. No, you are exactly right. अगर आप देखो तो 20-25 placement, I specifically remember Cognizant picked up 25 students, selected 25 students. So in 2004, entire college had 20-25 selections, and 2005, 25 students got selected into Cognizant alone. IBM, Hexaware, Infosys, all those big names were there, and we were able to get experience as a student, right? Even though I was not able to get placement in the campus interviews. After campus interviews, I tried offline campus. I tried some examinations as well, like because we were not aware, right? I'm sure right now you guys are getting you are into good hands, and everyone is experienced in terms of placement, or what to do, what not to do. But at that point in time, we were not aware, like what should we do, and what is the right approach to get into those interviews and get noticed by the interviewer, right? But in nutshell, like the focus on the main focus should be always on the your strength, right? Typically they trap you, like what are your strengths and weaknesses. So I'm sure you are well aware that project your weaknesses or your strength as right, so that you can at least show that even you have capability to turn your weaknesses into your strength. So I placed for as I said, we were not experienced, and we can you hear me? Because I just noticed something into my Bluetooth.
No, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, you are still saying, sir. So 100 rupees fine to you. So you can give it to the placement cell, okay, for Nashta.
Sorry, no, I will repeat.
Okay, yeah, because I came to India like after a long time to meet my team, and I collected 3,500 rupees just for calling anyone sir in 2 weeks. So we can set this rule, and everyone can put it into placement funds, right? The Manish sir, that will help. Okay, so but yeah, so our experience, I went ahead with giving examination, like I gave examination of DRDO. I even filled the form of bank PO, right? Even I was not aware. Friends were filling up, so I went ahead and applied for bank PO position as well. So, but I would say always focus on your domain. And learn new technologies. If you are interested in learning any new technologies, it has, you should not be a limit by your subject. You should always learn new subjects. I was graduated in computer engineering, and I landed up into operations of data management company in 2005, right? So, and since then I am into data management, so it became very uh, it became my life. I'm so my colleagues, they keep using term in sales meetings, that we live and breathe data, right? So this is what I'm doing for last 15-16 years. So quick introduction. We will have lots of time, right? So I prepare very small presentation so that we can answer and address questions, right? So I am into data management and governance industry for last 15 years. And I'm directing and providing guidance to enterprise data strategy development teams, providing guidance to the team related to business rules, data modeling, architecture design, executive collaboration, and technical requirements. So I have to wear multiple hats, and I have to guide teams, be it operations, technology, as a subject matter expert. So I'm doing all those things. So my current position is Director Data Management and Governance in Xoriant Corporation. I am based out of Edison, New Jersey. Edison is, you might have heard, Thomas Alva Edison. The city is named after him. So over these years, I have done a couple of certifications. One of them is PMP because I was into a project manager in 2008, 2009, and so that was one necessary certification to prove my capabilities into project management. Then, because I am into data management, there is a council. Manish sir, if you get chance, please look into it. There are courses available if someone wants to do any specialization into data management or even understand, right? There are different certifications available with them. It's an industry veteran council. It's a not-for-profit council, and what they have done, they have collected all retired data management professionals, and they founded this council, EDM council. So I did a DCAM certification. It's a data capability assessment matrix. So I can go and assess any company's data management program, like how mature they are. Like you have heard CMMI level 5, right? So CMMI level 5 is a maturity level of the company. So similarly for data management, DCAM provide that kind of certification. So I can go and certify like, oh, you are at the maturity level 1 versus someone is maturity level 10. So that's a DCAM certification. I did, as Manish sir pointed out, right, I did my BE in computer engineering. At that time, we used to be ECKU, like U batch. And before that, I did Polytechnic Diploma into Computer Science and Engineering from Birla Institute in Pilani. in 2002. So I joined ECK in 2002. My current responsibilities, I'm leading team of, as I mentioned, MDM experts. Uh, I'm leading a team of data stewards and subject matter experts. And right now, uh, we are heavily investing into our IP product. We call it Credit Dimensions. I'm part of it. So we are re-architecting the entire product, doing building use cases within the product, giving them next gen architecture, all those things in data quality and data management solution. So those are my current responsibilities. Again, anyone can ask question, but that's not our area of interest. Our area of interest is intelligence and machine learning, right? So what is artificial intelligence? In simple statement, it's an intelligence demonstrated by the machines powered by machine learning, deep learning, and rules. So that's the, in nutshell, is the artificial intelligence. And what are different areas within artificial intelligence are automatic programming, robotics. I heard there is a robotic division within RTU, right? So I'm sure there are people who doing this, neural networks, natural language processing, and computer vision. So computer vision is not really a sub branch of artificial intelligence, but you can say it's a part of artificial intelligence in how they are related, right? So we will go one by one, and then I will do the bonus content, that's data management and how we are addressing issues or challenges within data management industry using AI and machine learning. So automatic programming, what it is, a program that writes another program, right? So think this way. Nowadays, a computer and IT or any other subject, you are doing some programming. Think this way, like if someone is writing that program for you, you don't have to do class assignments, you don't have to go in the finals, you don't have to write the programs, right? So that's a good thing to have, right? So that's what automatic programming is. So what it does, it actually, there are softwares and technologies available that will allow you to do the programming at the very high level. Think it like you are just interacting on the PowerPoint presentation or building graphs or building forms, and behind the scene coding is happening by itself. Like you drag input text box from the stencils to your form, and the code has been generated behind the scene. That's what automatic programming is all about. What branches are primarily using or can get into automatic programming? What kind of skill sets you need? It's first computer science and engineering. You need to have a STEM background. I'm not sure how many of you know the STEM background, but it's a science, technology, engineering, and math. So if you have background into any of these, so technology can be anything, right? Engineering can be anything, mathematics can be anything, and science can be anything, right? So if you have these background, you can always go into automatic programming. What else? Like these are hardcore technology people, but what if someone who is not an engineer, who is not into math background, can they go and pursue anything into automatic programming? Yes, they do. For that, they need the domain knowledge. Like if you are an engineer, or if you are not an engineer, but you understand how healthcare industry is working or how automobile industry is working, you can always go into automatic programming, because every industry, every technology need a domain expertise. you like not a programmer, a fresh out of college will never have that expertise, right? So build domain expertise as well, like try to find out what are the applications, and which industries they are applicable for, and get that domain expertise. Even if you're not able to even if you're part of computer science or engineering, you know the programming and everything, but you need to build domain expertise. It will happen eventually over the time, but it doesn't hurt if you start early. Some of the examples you might have heard, there is a Google and MIT app inverter that generates code for you. You do a programming at the high level. Then ASP.NET, ADO.NET Entity Framework, and low code and no code development platforms. So nowadays, many companies or startups, they are coming up low code or no code development platform that you don't have to do anything. Even in our company, we have one such platform that allows you to do designing at the front end level or screen level, and then the code will be developed by itself. So that's the automatic programming, right? Now let's go to the robotics. What is robotics? I'm sure there are much more experienced people within your college and university who understand robotics better than me. So a machine that can substitute human interactions, right? So we all know what robots are. What branches can go into robotics? Bioengineering, computer control, electrical, electronics, mechatronics, mechanical, software. Anyone can go. So robotics give most exposure to all of the branches that you guys are enrolled into, right? And if you don't have engineering background, but you are from the math or science background, you can always find a way into robotics. Like, what are the applications? So some of the common applications that we have seen of the robotics is aerospace industry. You have heard about Mars rover, right? That's a robot on the Mars doing taking samples of the soil or trying to find the water on the Mars. In the military, there is a detect and diffuse explosive. You might not have seen it in real life, but in the movies you might have seen where they use the robots, remote control robots, to find the explosives and diffuse them instead of someone going into that big bulky suit to diffuse it, right? And in the end, which wire to cut, right? Red or green. Industrial assembly line, consumer and kitchen, Rotimatic. It's a very highly used product nowadays, especially for people who are not into India, right? And in the lockdown, right? Everyone is at home. I waited for like almost 6-7 months to order one Rotimatic, and I was not able to do it because by the time I went ahead, it was out of stock again. So it builds rotis and puri और बहुत सारी चीजें बना देता है. Roomba is a vacuum cleaner, right? You leave it and it will go and clean all your floor by itself. And once it is almost out of battery, it will go back to the charging station. So can you hold on? I will be back. Can you still hear me or no?
No, Apnav, your voice is not that loud.
Sorry about that. I got some other call on the line. So, medical, the surgery, you can still hear me, right? There is no issue.
Yes, Apnav, you're audible.
In surgery, robots are doing surgery nowadays, and exoskeletons. So if physically impaired people are there, like they lost their arm or they are not able to stand up, right? So physical rehabilitation programs are there in which they actually provide you a supporting robot that will help you stand up and walk like a normal human being. So those are some of the applications in the robotics. And what programming languages are being used into robotics? Very top is C++, right? So C++ and Python, they are heavily used into robotics programming. All these robotics, they rely on C++ and Python. So if you want to get a career into robotics, you should learn these two languages. And I was doing some research in the past, and Python has become second most popular or asked language in the industry. So if you want to, if you have it in your curriculum, go learn it, focus on it. If you have an option to learn between Python or Java, always opt for Python, because that's the upcoming language. It has surpassed Java as the second most usable language, right? So use it and learn it. Even if you are not part of computer engineering, please learn it. It will help you uh, very much in the upcoming years, right? And the third is Java. So these are the most common languages into robotics. Neural network, right? What is a neural network? Think it as a brain, but a network of neural circuits composed of biological or artificial neurons, like our brain, right? So what branches will be are using neural networks, or you can go into neural networks as computer software engineering, STEM background, or you have PhD. So PhD into neural networks or data science or computer, or these branches will help you get into neural networks. What are the application of neural network? So you might have seen Tesla, where vehicle can be controlled by like auto driving cars. That's one of the application. If you play online games like chess, backgammon, they are part of neural network. They are designed in using neural network. Pattern recognition, where you have radar system, face identification, or object recognition. Everything is part of neural network. Sequence recognition is a gesture, speech, handwritten text recognition, that is part of neural network. And medical diagnosis. These are the application where neural network is being used heavily. What are the programming languages? The most common is Smalltalk. It's a language that is being used into neural network. But if you hear about most known languages, then Python. Again, as I said eh, previously, Python is there, right? So if you are learning Python, you can go into neural network applications. And there is another language, that's R programming. So that's another new language that came um, in last decade. It's R programming, and you can learn these three languages to get into neural network. Natural language processing, what it is. This is the most or highly used technique into AI and machine learning. Uh, if a application or a program can read, decode, and understand and make sense of the data, That's the natural language processing. So whatever I'm talking about right now, or I'm speaking, if a software program can make sense out of it, that's the natural language processing. If you're writing something, um, it will make sense out of it, right? So branches: computer software engineering. Data science is where you actually learn about data, right? That's a data science branch, and a STEM background is needed, and PhD into data science is needed for natural language processing. Again, you don't have to have PhD, right? You can go into natural language processing or any other stream using these backgrounds or skills as well. What are the applications? So when you type into Google, you might have seen um, it starts suggesting you some options, right? What restaurants near me, or what are the top 10, then it will give you some options, right? So that's an there. And nowadays, if you're writing email into Google email, right, Gmail, so it will, please find my resume attached, right? It will start giving you option like, this is the, can you, would you like to use this phrase or not? um, so that's the autocomplete and autocorrect which application. Then language translator, again on the Google, if you go, um, you will see, you will type something into Spanish, it will automatically detect that you typed into Spanish and translate it into English, right? Social media monitoring, then chatbots. Chatbots nowadays are highly used by the service industries to support their customers. So if you go to the bank's website, you will see there is a pop-up comes in like, would you like to talk to a representative, or um, Siri, right? If you have Apple iPhone, or seen Siri, or Alexa, right? Those are the example of smart assistants and applied using NLP. They are created using NLP techniques. What are the programming languages? Again, Python and Java. So Python is always there. So that's the most commonly used language into AI and machine learning. So I will recommend again and again, like, you can go and learn Python. There are some pre-trained models available. So what industry giants have done, they have created pre-trained models. So the models that are created within machine learning or NLP techniques, they tend to do some work, right? So BERT is one of such model. Then Robot is another model. So they all are variant of each other. Then OpenAI, Albert, again part of BERT, and XLNet. So these are a few, five most commonly used pre-trained models that we have also used in the past for some of our work. So it's here like, you don't have to do anything, and they are available for free. You can use them. All you need to do, like, see if they are making sense to address your business problem, right? So that's NLP. Now, computer vision. So computer vision is not really AI technique, but you can say it's part of AI. So what we do is gain high level understanding from images and videos. That's what computer vision is doing. Uh, the branches, it's very strictly used by computer software engineering with STEM background, right? And application, there are application where in manufacturing, automatic inspection is being done using computer vision. Process controls for the industrial robots are there. Navigation, autonomous vehicle is there. Object modeling, medical image analysis, or topographical imaging. right? Event detection, you do visual surveillance or people counting. There is a camera attached or installed in front of store, and it is counting how many people are entering in the store. Or you are going into some banks, it is recognizing, okay, Lokesh is here, or Apnav is here, right? Information organization, it's for images, indexing, and sequences. So that's what computer vision is doing. It creates, recreate the scene, right? Like using the images, it will try to recreate, okay, this person was here, then he moved there, and all those things. That is being done using computer vision. What are the programming languages? C++, Python, Java, and MATLAB. Those are uh, languages highly used into computer vision. So any question before we move to data management? Okay. So this is what we are doing. Like in data management, there are multiple work streams. So one of them is operational data management, and our team is. I have a team of 300 data stewards. They are expert into data management. They understand what data mean and how to use that data for our client, right? And they are doing this day in, day out. And what are the traditional method into operational data management? One is you subscribe to the various feeds. So like you get a data from let's say all the stock exchanges, you get data from um, DMV or motor vehicle agency, or you get data from your uh, hospitals, like or insurance companies, right? There are multiple sources that provides data. So in typical operational environment, into data management, people or companies go to various feeds or data sources. You might have heard, if not, please do Google. There are three global rating agencies: Moody's, Fitch, S&P. Then there is a one big data provider is Bloomberg, and DNB. So if you do look up about them, you will know like what kind of data they are providing. So companies or banks, especially banks, they subscribe to those feeds because of regulatory compliance. Um, they have to subscribe to those feeds and do the credit risk assessment of their customers, right? So that's what one of the use case. uh, you get data from feeds, then you apply various business rules on top of them to make that data usable, right? There are different people or different companies who are providing data, but they are not standardized, right? So you have to apply business rule to make use of it, right? So that's where you apply some transformation or business rules. So think this way: someone is writing RTU versus someone is writing uh, Rajasthan Technical Universities. In real sense, they are the same thing, right? So that's where a transformation and business rule gets applied, so that system can say these two are really the same thing. Then one method is you source this information manually. Someone will go and find this information over the web, uh, and because not every source will provide you everything that you are looking for, so someone has to go and find it manually. So that's another method. Then you want to ensure in the operational environment in a bank. Think this way: in a bank, when someone is working on a customer data, they cannot rely on single eye check, right? There are two people making sure the data is there and it is correct. So that's a manual review or four eyes check that we call, right? One person create it, another person reviews it to make sure it is correct, and anyone has not done any mistake in collecting. So these are the methods, right? But they poses multiple challenges. So again, the thing that I mentioned, the traditional methods, there are more, but what I have provided are the top four, right? There can be more. So similarly, there are multiple challenges, but most common challenges based upon our research is because it's a labor intensive. You have to apply 4-eye check, you have to apply um, many people to do this data assessment or data management. It's labor intensive, too many people. And because human interaction is there, it impacts the data quality, right? And data quality is very big in the data management industry. If you again talking about any bank, a single error can cost you millions of dollars, right? So in the regulatory penalty. Lack of consistency, as I said, there are different sources providing you this data, so it's inconsistent. Someone is writing RTU, one is writing Rajasthan Technical Universities, right? It's consistency is not there. Someone is writing phone with the +91 in the beginning to identify the country. Someone is just writing simple phone number without country code, right? uh, Delays, because you have huge amount of data to manage, so it causes delay. Like how can you manage this data? uh, like in Xoriant we are managing 14 million companies records, right? So 14 million is you can calculate, right? So and we are literally nowhere near to the industry giant of the data management is DNB. They have 300 million records into their database. 300 million. It's like almost entire US population. So what we are doing and we have done into data management for gaining efficiencies, right? So we know there are multiple sources. A typical operational data management environment has three core components. Platform, there is a application or software. You might have heard it, MDM platform or ETLs or whatnot, right? So there is a platform that allows you to consume these data sources. It goes through a process, and then people, army of people, make sure the data is clean and up to date to fulfill business objectives or regulatory compliance. So in 2008, when industry or financial industry went with the recession or crisis, right? That's where regulators, global regulators stepped in. They created strict guidelines for banks to follow, and banks have to meet them year by year, quarter by quarter, and half yearly. They have to meet every single regulatory requirement so that regulators can predict or avoid any such 2008. They can stop 2008 from repeating itself in future. So what we are doing, we are applying AI and machine learning to improve these operational efficiencies. This entire process, each and every step, we are applying AI and machine learning so that the benefit that we will get are enormous, and our clients are recognizing those things. So over here, I have presented three use cases that we have identified um, in our company and with our clients that are most challenging for them. One is data quality framework to improve the data quality, overall data quality. As I said, one wrong information or attribute can cause millions of dollars of penalty to a bank. Enrichment and standardization of the addresses. So nowadays, the Swift is enforcing all the banks to start complying ISO standard address, in which you have to bifurcate an address into 22 distinct fields, right? And and all the banks who are into payments, so like if you're transferring fund from Lokesh to Apnav, right, that there is a swift instruction from his bank to my bank which identifies there is a transaction happening between these two. Those instructions will be standardized, and one of the key component is the address. So that's what we are doing, enrichment and standardization of the addresses, and then hierarchy data extraction. So there are multiple sources that provide you corporate hierarchies, like um, Citibank is owned by Citigroup, or Reliance Industries is the parent company of these 10 or 15 different subsidiaries, including Reliance Fresh. They have uh, percentage ownership, like Reliance Jio is doing partnership Facebook for network and phone, right? I think 10% ownership is by Facebook in that venture. All those things getting identified by the system. What techniques did we use? We used natural language processing because the system has to go through various documents, including company annual report, company financial, machine learning to train the model, and deep learning to train itself, right? Getting sense out of it. So what we did, DQ framework for enhancing the data quality. Think it as an example. The company is BlackRock Group Limited, and there is a critical data element from a business that's a party type. It's previously it was classified as an investment advisor. If you see here, that's our database of 10 million, 14 million entities. So it's coming from there, and a new value comes in for this attribute that says it's other financial, and someone went ahead and said it looks correct, right? So that was the manual process. Someone was monitoring these changes. Some changes are happening, and they used to accept it. What we did, we used our data science or machine learning AI capabilities. We applied natural language processing. We used few machine learning models, that's a feature extraction, feature engineering, or classification, data classification. These three models that we used, and automated this part so that a manual intervention can be avoided, or at least give them a framework that will allow them doing these things using system. So that's our product snapshot. If you look here, the type was investment advisor, the old value, a new value is other financial, and here user was to take an action, accept, approve, or reject, right? So now this application or this data science component is allowing or giving a trust score of 97%. It is likely that you will accept this or approve this value. So if user approve this value or accept this value, system take it as a learning that, okay, I gave a 97% trust score and user accepted it. So over the period of time, it will create or learn that going forward, I will not receive 97%. Like after 2 months of learning, system will do this by itself. I don't have to go and approve it again and again, or similar things, right? So that's the thing over there. Then party subtype, something changed, and the framework predicted that you will reject it because it's not trusted. There is only 17% chance you will reject it. Again, if I will reject it, it will go for the learning. Assume if I will approve it, or here I reject it. These two feedback will go into the system for the machine learning to start learning in certain type or certain events. User is not trusting the machine judgment, and it will retrain itself for those cases. So there are results. We used Python as the programming, logistic regression, Navy Bayes algorithm, deep learning, and neural network. These models we used. And for data processing, we used hashing vectorizer. Again, I'm not expecting you to learn, read all these things, right, or understand all these things. But you will eventually. And feature selections, we did fuzzy logic, like identifying a potential match or similarities, co-occurrence metrics, and reference sources. That's what we did, and these are the sample results. So we did analysis. So we identified that someone changed immediate parent company information from Reassurance Group of America Inc. to RGA Reinsurance Company. The model predicted it's a 95%, and user accepted it, right? So that's what machine learning and AI did for us in terms of enhancing the data quality. So how it helped, you saw in the previous screen. So system predicted a trust score, and it gave user a comfort that I will be making a right call if I approve this value. So again, human intervention is required because system needs time to learn. Machine learning, like, you don't get to become engineer in 1 year, right? You learn for 4 years, then you are qualified as an engineer, right? That's what happened. You learn. I didn't become data management expert in 2 or 3 years. It took me like 10-15 years. I'm still no expert than those industry veterans who established that EDM council, right? They are 60 years of experience or 50 years of experience in this industry. So the benefit that we got out of this, it's a real benefit using our client, right? We were able to save 60% of the manual effort. So previously, the team or operation team was spending, assume, 1 hour a day on this particular thing. Now they are only you investing 40% of the time on this thing, and now they are focusing on more critical uh, aspect of the operations. Next is address enrichment and standardization. As I said, ISO becoming a standard, you have to configure address, like what is the building number, what is the building name, what is the street name, bifurcate an address into more than 22 fields. That's the address enrichment and standardization. In our, we follow a particular format, like we bifurcate address into address line 1, 2, city, state, country, and postal code. And these are the sources typically we get addresses from. So assume I got an address, that's our company, Xoriant Corporation, 343 Thornall Street, Suite 720, Edison, New Jersey, 08837. Right? It doesn't have, if you see, the country information is not there. The address, some components are separated by comma, some components are not separated. So city and state are not separated along with zip code, right? So what we do, address line 1, the suite 720 goes into address line 1. That's our standard format. Address line 2 contains a street address, city will go into city, state will go into state, country, and postal code. So that's the standard format that we are following, right? So address line 1 can contain a suite, a building, PO box, those kind of thing, but the address line 2 will always contain the address, street address, right? So what we did, we applied again information extraction feature. We used natural language processing and similar models that we used in the previous use case. We used them, and Python, word embedding, pre-trained models, and label data. These are few features that we used along with deep learning. And the accuracy that we got, so we did test it on the multiple countries. We see like field level accuracies for address 1, 2, 3. These are the components that we are following. For Canada, we got accuracy result on the 76% at the address, but the attribute 90, 100, 100. So for all these countries, we have tested this model. We assume this thing. We have 1 million records in our database. I'm not talking about 14 million right now, just example of 1 million. Having 3 addresses for each entity. One is your business address, one is your permanent address. If I say in terms of uh, individual, you have one address in Kota, your university address, then your home address, and then it could be one of your, or when you are doing, or if you are staying outside college, you have 3 addresses, right? So one is college address, one is your permanent home address, and one where you are living in Kota itself. Like it could be, what is that? Court, I don't remember the first stop, Chambal Garden, right? Next to Chambal, if you are staying there. So if we were doing this manually, assume if we were standardizing the address into given format manually, it would have taken us 1000 days to standardize 3 million records, right? With 90% accuracy through AI and machine learning effort, we reduced this by 900 days. So we were able to clean all these addresses in 200 days. Now, 1000 days are really 3 years versus 100 days are really 5 months. If you talk about a 5 working days a week, it's 5 months, right? And 1000 days is really 3 calendar years I'm talking about. If I go with the business years, then it will become 4 years, because in standard there will be 20 to 40 days in a year, working days, right? So that is the efficiency and that is the power of AI and machine learning that we got, uh, right? The last use case is again similar, hierarchy extraction. So the company has information like this into their annual reports. They publish this information. If you go and read, if you are investing into stock, if you are interested in knowing the company's stocks, right, or stock market, you need to learn the company financial, like how are they doing, what they used to do in the past, what are they doing now, and they publish all these reports for public consumptions, where they provide you transparency that this company Bruin Dolphin Limited is 5% share owned by this company, 5.95 by this, and 6% by this, and remainder is here. So this is the ultimate parent, or no one owns it more than 50%, right? So we applied data science component, similar uh, processing. One technology we applied is OCR, because sometimes these documents are scanned documents, so we go and read those documents. You can, it's an image, right? So OCR we applied so that it extract text out of image, and then we repeated this process to identify from this company to ultimate parent and get the cleansed data. So these are the three use cases that we have identified and we have solved using AI and machine learning. These are our topmost priorities based upon our clients' requirement or what other companies in the financial industries are facing challenges around. So there are 8 or 10 different use cases that we have identified, but we will implement them in the future. The benefits that we got are the data quality has been improved, um, productivity has been improved. You have seen like 60% less time, and we saved almost 900% days. So productivity has been improved of the company. Speed, we have increased the speed. We know like again, because system is doing these things, and the cost has been reduced because we don't have to hire people unnecessarily, right? um, and this, for the client point of view, it's a very quick turnaround time, right? So they got this information in 2 or 3 days, some information that was taking 3 weeks previously. So their cost has been reduced as well. So these are the benefits that we got out of AI machine learning. So that's it from my side. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Yes, Apnav, I have a question.
Sure.
These things are really fascinating, and I am just like, I want to do this. I'm a third year computer science student.
Mhm.
So, according to you, what should I do right now to get to get involved in these things like
For data management or AI machine learning
AI
technologies
machine
like.
learning? Actually, I am quite familiar with Python. I just
Mhm.
code in Python,
Okay.
and I'm good at data structure and algorithm. So,
Okay.
what according to you should I do right now, or to involve in which courses, or what should I do right now?
So first, I would say like you should because again you are into third year itself, right? You need to focus on the use cases, right? I would recommend like you know the Python, right? Um, if you
Yes.
can spend time other than your curriculum activities, right, try to create something independent, right, or try to get a project around solving a use case that will actually help you, showing it as your strong thing, right? Like when you are into RTU, there are multiple opportunities for you to identify and optimize a process, right? Or implement a solution that will allow you to show it as an experience, right? So if you completely aware of the Python, try to implement. See, on the Google, there are multiple projects available, right? Try to do them so that it will give you more and more insight. And at the same time, uh, what are your targets? You have to focus on them. Like you want to go into a certain type of industry, if you want to go into a particular domain, or maybe a particular company, what are they doing in AI and machine learning? Like if I will give you an example. Google, right? That's I came to know this year, last year. um, AWS, the cloud platform, right? Amazon Web Service is the biggest cloud platform, and Microsoft Azure is the second or most known after Amazon. The Google is the third one. But in 2019, Google hired almost 10,000 people for their cloud platform, right? So they are investing heavily into cloud. So similarly, I would recommend, if you are planning to go into a particular company or particular industry, try to learn what are they doing into AI and machine learning, right? What are they trying to achieve? So that way you will have a focus on doing things in that direction. Even if you don't want to do it for particular industry, you can see what other companies are doing into AI and machine learning, and then find what is best fit for you. But if you're learning Python, that is good enough to start.
Okay. Should I go for masters first, or should I directly join, or should I directly start with these projects and all?
It's again your individual choice. I will take example of Manish sir, it's himself, right? Uh, Mastered doing further education has nothing to do with when you are doing it. He was able to do it, I think, after work and everything, right? He dedicated that time. So if you want to do it, and if you can do it right now, it's your choice and your personal preference. But it should not stop you from like job or anything should not stop you from doing
I'm
further
asking from
education.
industry point of view, just like what they want, that they hire the master's one, or they hire the bachelor one with a good skills or something like that.
There is no restriction, right? Like um, if you are going in the market with a good knowledge and experience, they will hire you with the bachelor as well. Like I have not done any masters yet, right?
Okay.
So it's there is no benchmark for masters. It definitely adds to your resume, right? I will not deny that. It definitely adds to your resume, and you have better uh, pay as compared to a bachelor if you have a masters on your resume and you have necessary skills.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other question? Anyone else?
Sir, what is importance of certificates?
Certificates are like if you are doing some professional certifications like PMP and all those things, that allows, or even if you're doing into Java, right? Or I am a Java certified professional, that helps, and you should keep doing them, at least as a personal goal. Try to do, if not more, try to do one certification a year, right? Depending upon what type of knowledge you want to gain. If for me, if I am doing into anything data management, there are 10-15 different certifications available I can do. So and but if you're limiting, like even if you're going for the project management, right? PMP is there, that's a, then program management is there, then agile certification is there, scrum master is there, right? So I would say, and that's what I feel with my team as well, and I keep pushing them, like do certification with the if you're a technology person, keep doing new certifications, or at least even if you're not doing certification, learn those technologies, right? Apply those technologies. Um, Certification is only help you getting through the systematic resume check, right? You might have, if you go into job portals, they will say PMP certification is required, or certified Java professional is required, or Scrum Master certification is required, right? Or good to have. So in those, if someone is having a certification versus you don't have any certification, his resume will get pegged, even though he might not have necessary skills, right? That's the first step. You need to, with certification you have better visibility.
Sir, Python learning.
It can be anything, Python, it can be Java, it can be R, right? It's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do, look for the certification that are commonly used, right? When I was doing, I was planning to do certification, I looked and I saw if I will do, it depends upon personal preference as well. One of my friends, he constantly doing new courses and certification. Um, and his pure objective was, okay, this certification is in demand and it will give me a raise of 20% at least if I will go outside the company or if I will change the job. So that was his personal motivation. Like, if I will do this certification, I will get 20% raise or 30% raise. So versus,
What are some
yeah,
what are some most popular certificates?
in um, most commonly I have seen is this project PMP, right? That's the most common certification nowadays. Industries and even any company, right? Any company, not even financial. I have seen they are highly focused into cyber securities or information securities, or yeah. So CISO, I think CISO is a Chief Information Security Officer, right? So information security is very burning topic for the companies nowadays. With all the regulations that are coming in, with all the threat that are rising in terms of cyber security, those are very demanding certification nowadays. Someone, Abhishek, you asked, right? How to apply training and internship in Xoriant. I don't know. I can get you. I can get you in touch with the HR, right? And you can talk to them. I know, like in US, we still have a process where we do get internship and we bring people who are fresh out of college. Um, in US, the market is different. Here, internships are very critical. In India, at least, no one is asking that right now um, because of the pool or talent available in the fresh market is vast, right? So I will check with HR like what is the process for internship or training within Zorient. Anyone else? Any question? Okay, I think
Okay, I think no one is here to ask any question. So I would like to over Manish sir to give vote of up now.
Sure. Thank you, Abhinav, for such a wonderful presentation. And I must say, because you are running a company which is solely in this field, so you were able to explain these terms to the student because the audience was heterogeneous from all branches, from all semesters. So for all of them, it was a wonderful session. And much more than that, it is always heartening to interact with our they when they interact with their seniors and get the first hand information and learning from them. Uh, uh, we regularly conduct such sessions, and these sessions are very much useful for the students. And we day by day we are finding it that many of our alumni are also interested to share their ideas with the with their juniors here, and they want to contribute to the alma mater. And you are having such a spirit that you have spared your time for your alma mater. So we greatly appreciate this spirit of yours, and also hope that you'll be connected with ECK, you call it, and we call it RTU, for times to come. As Abhishek has asked about training or internship, I must say the time is changing very fast. Earlier, the internship used to be for a local student, let it be a US based company or European, or for that matter, even a Bangalore based company. But with this online working, yes, such opportunities are there. Students can find a project there, and also our alumni can offer, no doubt, not a big one, but a small project to a group of students where they can test, or they can not only give some valuable, they can learn some valuable things also, and they can contribute a little bit there. So these things can be worked out now.
Yes, no, that's absolutely correct. And what I will say, it's a pleasure for me to interact with the students. And I uh, I when I graduated right from the college, I was not aware what are different things outside the market, and it's my personal experience. When I landed up in this job, they were having like, I went ahead for a programmer, right? C++ programmer job. And because they were not having suitable position, they said like, would you be interested in doing into data management or data analysis? And I said, yeah, and but what about my engineering, computer engineering, right? They said, no, we will have some opportunities in 3-6 months. So if you will perform well, we will be able to get you into programming side of it or development side of it. And after 6 months, the team, previously they were reluctant, but HR was interested, but the operations team, they were reluctant hiring us, being engineering background. They know that we will ask for change in the job, and we will say we want to move into development area. But 6 months later, they were not willing to move us into development, because they realized that with engineering background, we had much more potential than any other data management person in the team. So, but yeah, I know internship and all those things will definitely help in long run. And in terms of project, I'm not sure like what is the right now is structure within RTU, but I'm sure there are various opportunities that we can work, and we can see what it goes from there.
That's great, Apnav. And once again, thank you very much, and thanks all the participants for joining in. And we'll be having such more sessions in future. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Apnav. Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session.
Thank you, Lokesh.